Welcome back to the Fire Up Connect radio show. We just heard from Nidhi Dandriel of LTS Accelerator, and we will now be talking to Bill Kirschbaum of Good News, spelled GNUS. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you. It's great to be here. How are you doing today, James?
I'm doing very good. Thank you. So Bill is a marketing consultant for business companies that are tired of merely treading water. They need to grow, but nothing they do seems to gain the traction they're looking for. Gaining new customers is like playing a frustrating game of whack-a-mole. And Bill's company, Good News, breaks the cycle of shot-in-the-dark tactics and turns on the light so you can see the path towards business growth. So Bill, your company is Good News, but it's spelled kind of funny. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so it's spelled good and then GNUS, which is a wildebeest, a new. And my company name actually used to be Bill Kirschbaum Content Marketing. And the pandemic hit. And like many businesses, it caused me to rethink a lot of what I did and a lot of, what am I in business for? And what is my industry about? What is marketing about? And what do my clients need most from me? And among other things, I realized that I really found my business name to be very boring. It was my own name, Bill Kirschbaum, and I didn't like it.
Okay.
But the pandemic caused me to realize marketing is more than just about building your bottom line. And I think a lot of the time we forget that. We think that marketing is the purpose of marketing is to generate qualified leads for sales. And it certainly needs to do that, but that's not the ultimate purpose of marketing. And really, the ultimate purpose of marketing is to help a business to thrive and to accomplish its mission. And if you're like most businesses, your mission is not to, your mission is not to simply to turn a profit. Again, that's something you need to do. But your mission, I'm guessing, is probably to do good in the world, to make a difference in people's lives. I work with B2B companies, and I think especially in the B2B world, your whole purpose is to put into the world something that is going to make your clients successful, make their lives better. And so backing that back, really the purpose of marketing then is to do good in the world. It's to spread a message of optimism and hope. And, man, pandemic hit and everybody just needs to hear that, right? We need messages of hope and optimism. And I kept thinking about that. I thought, this theme of good news kept coming back to me, right? I want my business to do good in the world. I want my business to help my clients succeed and to be a better business. And I want my clients in the marketing that I do for them to make an impact in their world as well. And that's good news.
Yeah.
And so that theme just kept coming back to me. I thought, well, Good News as a name is kind of dorky. It feels cliche and kind of almost Pollyannish. But if I could play with it, so I changed the spelling, Good News, and I love it because it captures some joy. It creates curiosity. It's whimsical. It's witty, and I think marketing should have those elements to it as well.
Yeah.
It should not be stale. So,
well, there's there's enough bad news out there. So I do like the name Good News.
Thanks.
It really resonates. And, as anyone who owns a company knows, when you need to grow your business, all you want to do is get that next sale. But there's danger in that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been through this myself as a business owner. I've been in a position where where I've needed that next sale, and I didn't have the clients that I needed in order to gain the profits and to see the business growth that I wanted to see. And that can be really really stressful and very anxiety producing. And when you get into that kind of a place, all you want is everybody you talk to become your customer. And that is dangerous for a number of reasons. One is not everybody should be your customer. And simply because you can sell to somebody doesn't mean you should sell to that person, because it can hold back your business. But also when you are in that sale mode, it's going to come across and people are going to see it. And there's a saying that people want to buy, but they don't want to be sold to. And I think that's really true. Again, B2B world, you've got customers that are very deliberate in their buying process. And pushing that sale too quickly can really hurt your chances of gaining new customers.
Yeah, so if you're not supposed to be selling, how do you get more customers?
Yeah, good question. There's kind of this, again, a saying that marketers like to refer to, that getting a lead to the point of purchase is a lot like a courtship, right? And you've got this path that goes from the first time you meet the customer, so to speak, or the prospect, to getting them over the finish line and they become this customer. And one of the mistakes I see a lot of businesses making is, again, they're trying to, you see it on their website, or every call to action they make is either a demo or let's start doing business. And in the B2B world, in the B2C world, a lot of the time you can get away with that because consumers come in wanting to make a purchase. B2B, it's a lot longer of a sales process. And the key, I think, is to think about the sales process more of a courtship. So when I'm giving talks, I'll often share a video on YouTube that I came across. It's wonderful. It's this woman who has set up these, I think she met these guys on a dating app or something, and she set up a date with them, and she's pulling a prank. And she comes to the date, they're meeting out at a restaurant or something like that. She comes to the date dressed in a wedding gown. And as you can imagine, these guys come, expecting this is just a first date. I'm just going to get to meet, we're going to have drinks and maybe we'll exchange numbers and we'll see if it goes any farther than that. But she's coming as if, the deal is done and she's ready to get married right then and there. And it's a hilarious video. But it really exemplifies the kind of problem that I think a lot of the mistake a lot of businesses make. The key to avoid that is to see the sales process as a courtship. And so it's important to get into your customer's point of view, to have empathy and to understand who is your customer, what are their pain points, and what is it that they want right now. What they want and what you want may be two very different things. And so I think that marketing actually needs to take a different perspective. Often we're saying, what can we get from them? What can we get from our prospect? How can we get them across the line to sign a contract? I'd rather be asking, what can we give to them? And it's a radically different kind of, it makes for a radically different kind of marketing approach, sales process. A guy named John Janch, who is a prominent marketing guru type guy. He says, what if you actually cared more about your customer's transformation than about your own transaction? And I think it's really key. I think that if we approach marketing from the standpoint of, let me see what I can do for you, you're going to win a lot more customers because they're going to want to be a part of that, right? If they see this company is actually caring for me, they are here for me and not for themselves. That's just naturally attractive, and people gravitate toward that, and customers do too. And so I think that's the starting point, is asking that question. Not what can we get from them, but what can we give to them?
Yeah, I like that wedding analogy and not putting the cart before the horse. And there are some other good books out there also, like Traction and The Go-Giver that really focus on that. That's the whole EOS model. But let's say I'm a business owner who wants to start moving in that direction that you're talking about. What's the first thing that I should do?
Well, I think one of the first things you should do is to understand your customers and what they expect from you. And so a lot of that comes from customer interviews and talking to your customers and getting to know them and asking them questions. What brought you to us? Why did you choose to buy from us? What is it about our company that keeps you here? And why didn't you choose other companies, et cetera? And then from there, building out a customer journey. And you may have seen these different, there's the funnel model and the flywheel model and that kind of a thing. And again, this comes from John Janch and his company, Duct Tape Marketing. And I subscribe to the hourglass model. And the idea is you want to bring in customers, and then, at the sale, that's like at the middle of the hourglass. Companies often kind of stop there. Once they've got the sale, it's done. And but then there's the bottom half of the hourglass as well. And you want to think about referrals or repeat business, and how do we get referrals as well? And so that makes kind of this hourglass shape.
Okay.
And so you want to build out a customer journey around that. And in the stages of that journey are know, they need to know you. Like, they need to like your company. Trust, obviously they need to trust your company. At that point, they're ready to try, and maybe that comes from a freemium model or a demo or something like that. At that point, they're ready to buy, and then you go to repeat and refer.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so what if you're a company that doesn't have the budget to hire an agency for all, that robust type of a program?
Right. Yeah. So the clients that I work with are businesses, tend to be small businesses who, they've been around for a while and they've kind of been fine, but they haven't really grown a whole lot. And because of that, they don't have a budget for a marketing agency. And so often they're in this position of, well, I guess we have to do this ourselves. And so the CEO is trying to make time for blogging or something like that. Or you've got the VP of sales who's kind of doing two different jobs in one. And that's unsustainable. And yet, like you said, you can't always afford an agency. So what do you do? Well, consultants like myself actually fit perfectly right in the middle there. I work with, excuse me, I can come in and provide a marketing strategy, and it's something that I'll take 30 to 45 days to get to know the company. I'll interview people within the company. I'll interview their customers. I'll do market research and look at their competitors. And from that, develop messaging and help kind of identify their core message. I'll help understand, I'll gain an understanding of exactly what their customers are struggling with and what are their motivations and pain points. And then looking at their competition, understanding, you know, this is where my client excels and our competition doesn't. And so I'll present a strategy, and then if they like the strategy and like the work that I've done, they can hire me, or they can take the strategy and go somewhere else. Okay. And because I am a single business owner, I'm able to provide all of that less than an agency can. I don't have the overhead that an agency has. And I bring in specialists on an as-needed basis as subcontractors, and that keeps the expenses low. So you can get agency caliber marketing content or marketing at prices much lower than an agency would.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate you sharing all that. Sounds like you got a great program that really fits a kind of a niche out there that is underserved. How can people get a hold of you?
You can email me. My email is bill@goodnewsmarketing.com. Again, news is GNUS. So bill@goodnewsmarketing.com. You can check out my website at goodnewsmarketing.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn.
All right. Well, again, that's bill@goodnewsmarketing.com, spelled GNUS for the news. And thank you again, Bill. Really appreciate you coming to join us today. And we're going to go to a station break now. And when we return, you'll be hearing from me, James Watson, providing a summary of the topics covered today and some sales best practices and takeaways from each of the three guests that we had on today. Stay tuned.